Okay, so what I'm going to show you to do is do some basic queries. I'm going to use the students one to start with that we used in class, and then we'll do the one I just created just now. So the idea of queries is to be able to filter out data, search, etc. So obviously we've got a lot of data, makes a lot of sense. Right, so let's create a query. So to create a query, click on the Create tab, Query Design is what you're looking for, and then click on the table, click Add, click Close, and there we have it. So then we just select the fields we want. So SName, Tutor, Senior Tutor, ITG, that'll do. Now if I just run it with no criteria, it just brings back all the records, 402 again, but this time there are fewer fields. Okay, so I can change that. If I want to get rid of some of those as well, I can get rid of Senior Tutor, press Delete, and run it again. So there's not a great deal going on there. Now the whole point of this is being able to filter out some students based upon our criteria. So let's just get the first one, all the students who are ITGB. So if I run that now, these are all the ones with a B. Okay. Now, so after that, what we need to do is we can also search for students who have white in their name. Let's see if there's anybody with a white in their name. Oh no, it begins with B. So let's just do B star. Okay. Now let's get rid of the B there. So that means anybody whose name begins with a B followed by a star. So if I run that now, those are all the people with B's from their surname. Now we could also change it, so I could do star BR star, so that anyone with br in their name should now turn up, and Bridges BR there. Okay, so we can also add extra criteria. So if I did this B as well here and put that back in, that means that both of those are going to be true. So it's going to bring back something with a BR and has an ITG of a B. So let's have a look. So there's only two students with that photo. So they've got BR in their name and they've got an ITG of a B. Now we could put that down here, and that means now OR. So it brings back all the students with an B, but also it will bring back all the students with BR in their name. So that's the OR. So either one of those can be true, and now you get back more students. Okay, so that's some basic queries there, just using text fields. Now let's have a look at some using numeric fields. So we've got number of lates here. So let's just have a look on this. I've only got 2 records, so it's not going to be fantastic. But you can see I've got some numbers here. So if I want to view all the students who have more than 30 lates, for instance, then I'll do the same sort of thing before. Go to Query Design, click Add, Close. I'll add title. I'll put Dob in as well. Right, so if I just go to the criteria, greater than 30, so it should bring back both my students. All right, so they've both got more than 30 lates there. Now, so if I now change that to 34, notice it doesn't bring back one of them because he had 34. If I wanted him, I could do greater than or equal to 34, then it would come back again. So that's just dealing with numbers there, fairly straightforward. I can do the similar sort of thing with dates as well. So now this is one where it's a little bit more complex. When you're dealing with dates, often you want to know, are people older than, so let's say 16 or something like that, to be a student at college. So we can do that. Now the one way of doing that, then we can say, well, their date must be less than. Now this is a function called dateAdd, and we can basically add or subtract 16 years from today's date, and anybody who's less than that must be older than 16. Right, so the interval is 4y's, 1, 2, 3, 4, comma. Now the number is minus 16, so we're adding minus 16. I know it sounds confusing when you say adding minus 16, but that's what you're doing. And the date today is date, all right, because obviously that changes a lot. Right, so if we run that now, and we'll see that none of them do that. All right, if we go to student here, he's pretty close actually. It's the 26th today, so if we make him the 25th, he's now older than 16 years. All right, so let's try that query again now. So I'm just going to put it in design view and then run it again, and he appears. So he's the only one who's older than 16 years old. So that's one way of bringing back some data with dates there. That is pretty possibly a little bit confusing, but it's not too bad. Now, so there's lots of things you can do with queries, and what we'll also do is make them the basis for reports, which is another thing. So the date add, so the date that you're looking at is less than 16 years ago today. Okay, there we go. So that is that.